Hey, what's up? This is a little bit of an update video I decided to do. It's not really anything personal, but I just want to take a little bit to talk about, my taste in comics right now. I haven't really done too much comic reviews on here like I said I'd be able to, and part of the problem with that is that I'm just not able to get to the shop in time to pick up my issues. It's only open for maybe like 2 hours on Wednesday because they sit in the middle of a flea market. But other times on the weekend too, I might be able to get out there, but I'm also having to watch my money right now, so I've dropped the books because I'm trying to watch what I spend. But at the same time, I have a few disappointments that I've been seeing a lot lately, and I just kind of want to take this chance to go ahead and talk about some of them right now. I think probably the biggest thing that I want to jump on board right now is my disappointment with a lot of the X books. If you watched any of the couple of issues of X-Force that I've reviewed in the past, I really love that series. Rick Remender doing a terrific job with it. I'm actually thinking about checking out Venom, but I might wait till issues 5 and 6 come out and they pick up the trade when it comes out, because I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. But X-Force, really, in my opinion, is the best comic that I'm reading right now. It's got a lot of great stuff going on in it. But a lot of other ones I'm dropped just because I'm really disappointed in them. I'm staying out of the big event. Well, I'll read the big event books, but not really a lot of the tie-ins unless I hear a good word of mouth about them. And if anybody wonders why I'm spinning like this, I'm just sitting backwards in the desk chair, just kind of focusing, spinning around and all that. But yeah. Kind of paying attention to the events, but really when it comes down to it, I'm just not that excited, especially with a lot of the complaining I've heard about the big spoiler, the Bucky death that took place in issue 3 or 4, neither of which of those I've gotten yet. But yeah, as far as that goes, in that regard, it's some bullshit, but then it's nothing really new that we haven't seen before. I'm long since been over a lot of the disappointment that Marvel's put out there, so this move really doesn't surprise me. DC, not much better in some regards, but I will say this. For what they're doing with taking Dick Grayson out of being Batman right now, at least they're going ahead and doing it before the relaunch and not waiting until the month when the Dark Knight Rises come out to do it, to just, throw out the biggest Deus Ex Machina. And really, a lot of the complaints that I've heard about this choice is a lot of blaming Matt Fraction. Matt Fraction's got good stuff to me, like the Invincible Iron Man, but writing this, it's been kind of so-so so far, and I think it's more of the editors at Marvel just kind of forcing him to take the character out and kind of fit it back in so all these new readers can jump on board, which is really something I'm starting to get tired of hearing. Is like the damn DC Marvel war that's going on. DC's got the relaunch going, and I've already said how I felt about that. I'm still happy, though, thankfully, that they're keeping Batman Incorporated. It's going to stop in August, but restart in January, so thankfully there is that. Grant Morrison won't be writing it, I don't believe, but I'll still be reading it. But, they're starting over with, 52 new #1 issues. Marvel... Really, the whole bullshit about canceling Uncanny X-Force and then, we're going to relaunch with the new #1 about 2 months later, I think. I don't care. And it's pretty much because I loved Uncanny X-Force, but I've basically just sworn it off right now. Not particularly crazy about Kay Gillian's writing. And a lot of the other X books have been lackluster to me. Let's face it, I've always been a big X fan, but a lot of my love for those books have kind of waned over time. I don't read everything that has the X-Men in it. Right now, besides X-Force and X-Factor, I might read X-Men Legacy, just because it's a good enough title. And I find it actually refreshing that since First Class came out, that they haven't pulled Magneto over into being a bad guy. So that's kind of actually something that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, and I'm actually finding that a little refreshing, especially on Marvel's part, by not converting him back over into a villain in the stories. as far as it goes with the X-Men Schism, it sounded pretty good when I did the video with Deadpoolzilla, but now as it looks to be raging more into an X-Men Civil War, I just said, fuck it, I'm not reading it. Of course, I might be curious at some point and dumb enough to go back and read it, but for right now, I'm just not really too big on it. And I really have more bitching to do about a lot of stuff, too. Especially, you know, the DC relaunch is happening. They're relaunching Uncanny X-Men in sometime in the fall, and then we have a new Captain America #1 actually starting up this month. Might have been this week or next week that it comes out. But I picked up a preview for like October. And basically what's funny about this is that Marvel's just sort of taking jabs at the DC relaunch, and it's like there's certain books in there like Hulk 35. There's like a huge spike bowl down at the bottom that says it's still number 35. You go on to Spider-Man 668, there was or might have been it was 600 and something that they was doing a preview of, and spike bubble again. Yeah, it's still number 600 and something. And I'm like, wow, good job. And it's just stuff like that that pisses me off. It's stupid. I just find myself becoming less invested in a lot of the comic book hype now, and maybe it's because I'm getting older, or I've just had enough of the shit that Marvel and, you know, DC too has been blamed on force-feeding us a lot of stuff, you know, with their constant reboots and Crisis and all that. They do a few things right, but, you know, I still have to hold a little animosity against them for a few mistakes. But basically when it gets down to it, as far as being like really excited for like everything that comes across in the two mainstream companies now, I'm not. I feel that I'm looking at this situation maybe a little bit more maturely than what I used to do when I was younger. But I don't know, having to kind of cut back costs and, you know, save up for a place of my own because I'm moving out again, and hopefully, you know, have enough money saved up and be moved out by the end of this year. I'm just backing off comics a little bit. There are some recommendations that I will also give in this video, though, for those of you that haven't been bored by my Southern dialogue and still continue to listen. I do recommend some of the following books. Uncanny X-Force, which I can't talk enough about. I think it's a terrific read. Batman and Robin, which, you know, it only has about another month to go. It might have another issue or two left to go before August is out, but it's still a really good series. And if you're fans of me, or fans like me who like Dick Grayson still as Batman, and before they do that changeover, go back at issue 1 when Grant Morrison was writing it and just read through. It's actually some pretty good dynamics that you won't see in any other books between Dick and Damian. So that's they're relaunching it, but it's going to be Bruce and Damian in the relaunch. But, you know, the Dick and the Damian stuff is still pretty good, and I do highly recommend that particular series to anybody that's curious about it, looking to get into it. Batman Inc. is awesome. Something that should not work, but it does. Grant Morrison kind of taking the campiness of the '60s Batman and delving it in a little bit with a lot of the Frank Miller Batman. Terrific read. They're actually going to be putting out the last 3 issues of the series before they put it on hold in August, issues 8, 9, and 10, so be sure to check those out when they come along. And go back and pick up the first 7 issues too, because they're just terrific reads. Fraction's Invincible Iron Man, which I like. I do recommend it, but part of the catch about that is that, you know, Five Nightmares is a terrific story that stands on its own. You will have to read, or at least have some knowledge of some of the events that have gone on, like Dark Reign, Siege, and Fear itself right now, which a lot of these are tying into. A lot of the reads have been great to me, except for the Doc Ock story. That was probably about my only fault with the series, but it's still pretty good. And, yeah, I do have a few others in there, but those are my big picks. Now, outside of the big 2, however, I am a Hellboy fan through and through. I definitely recommend picking up The Fury. It's actually a 3-issue miniseries, which has given out a lot more background about Hellboy, BPRD, doing some great stuff right now. It can be a little bit redundant, but it's a fun kind of redundant. And it's really good. No mistakes in the continuity. And a lot of the Hellboy and the BPRD titles are launched miniseries. They're not really ongoing, but they're still damn good reads, at least to me. Plus, you have that unique Mike Mignola artwork to go along with it. And yeah, that's really about the big comics that I have right now that I'm really into. I do recommend checking some of those out. And basically, my update is not really much more than just ramblings on how I feel about comic books right now. Hopefully I've made some kind of sense, but yeah, if you are interested in checking out some of the titles I recommended, some of them may be a bit overhyped, but they're still worth the hype in some instances. I do recommend picking them up. And if you have any suggestions for me on something to pick up, if I can get back around to getting a little money and testing the waters out on certain other titles, please feel free to leave a response below in the comments, and like to hear from you on that. And that's pretty much it. Hope everybody has a good weekend, and catch you guys next time.